This is our KNES 455 case study for Bria, Gougisha, and Anjelica Theall for spring 2019. Our athlete is Megan Evans. Megan is a female college soccer attacking midfielder. She is 21 years old, 5 foot 7 inches, and weighs 135 pounds, or 61.4 kilograms. Her soccer season is August through December, which includes the Women's College Cup. There are 18 games per season, with 2 games per week. She plays Division I NCAA collegiate soccer at UCLA. Megan has no current health concerns that would deter her from exercise. Megan has experience with resistance training and is able to perform exercises with correct form.
Soccer is an endurance-demanding game where the player is using his aerobic system majority of his or her playing time. The game consists of 11 players on each team attempting to advance the ball to the opposing team's goal without touching the ball with his or her hands or arms. Our athlete is an attacking midfielder. This position must pass and cut through the defensive players on the opposing team, providing opportunities in the advancement of the ball downfield, allowing the striker to successfully advance the ball in the goal with avoiding the opposing team's goalkeeper.
There are several different injury risks for midfield soccer player. Ankle sprains are the most common and occur when a player is kicking the ball with the top of their foot. Stress fractures can occur due to flat feet or high arched feet and is an overuse injury. They can also be caused by a change in the playing surface. Lacerations are also common in soccer. This can occur when coming into contact with another person, the ball, the ground, or the goal. Injury risk is highest for this sport when players are contesting for the ball, as well as in the first and last 15 minutes of every game.
Some physiological challenges in this sport is the high intensity demands of the sport, for example, the extensive duration of sprinting, the rapid directional changes, cognitive thinking processes. Some other physiological challenges is the short and insufficient recovery times between actions. In comparison to the American football, the recovery time for the offensive players is when the defensive players are on the field. The last physiological challenge is the increase in blood lactate. This is from the insufficient time in between the recovery times for the athlete. This athlete only has one biomechanical challenge. She does not have a full range of motion in her non-dominating ankle. One of the most popular skills for this sport is shooting. Shooting, also known as the soccer kick, is the striking of the ball, allowing for the progression of the ball downfield either towards opposing team's goal or towards a teammate. The majority of this athlete's movement patterns is performed in the frontal and sagittal plane. Next, I will discuss the muscle actions that occur in the duration of the skill. There are 3 phases of the shooting technique: the approach, contact, and follow-through. The approach begins when the player locks eyes onto her target, of course in this case is the soccer ball. Long strides are taken in place, giving the soccer player momentum in the preparation of kicking of the ball. On the last step of the stride, the non-shooting or non-dominating foot is planted on the ground next to the soccer ball, creating stability for the shooting leg. The muscles semitendinosus, gluteus maximus, semimembranosus, and the long head bicep femoris are all activated in the extension of the hip. The short head bicep femoris shortens or contracts, creating flexion of the knee. The gastrocnemius is activated for the motion of knee flexion, as well as the motion of plantar flexion in the ankle, which occurs in the approach phase. The hip fully extended, the knee flex, and the ankle in plantar flexion motion. The rectus femoris, followed by the external and internal obliques, are activated, working eccentrically, causing the slowing down of the extension of the hip. With the rectus femoris, sartorius quadriceps, also known as the quad muscles, working, hip flexion occurs. With the contracting of the rectus femoris as the hip flexors, the knee extends. Other muscles that serve a purpose in the extension of the knee are the vastus medialis, lateralis, and intermedius. The gluteus maximus continues to contract, allowing for the external rotation of the hip. As the hip continues to flex, the shooting leg comes into closer proximities of the target. The dorsiflexor muscles of the ankle work eccentrically, slowing down the plantar flexion of the ankle and speeding up the motion in the direction of dorsiflexion. As the degree of hip flexion increases, the shooting leg comes into contact with the ball. The last step of shooting is follow-through. Much like basketball, this step has no effect on the outcome of the ball. This is only the continuation of the motion after the shooting leg has made contact with the ball.
To test Megan, we decided to use the balance error scoring system, vertical jump, hexagon test, T-test, 5-10-5 shuttle test, 1 rep max back squat, and 1.5 mile run test. The balance error scoring system is used to test balance, which is important when kicking a ball as to prevent injury and get maximal force. The vertical jump is used in the Major League Soccer Combine and tests lower body power. Lower body power is important when considering the amount of jumps for the ball and the leg power that are needed to kick the ball. The hexagon test is used to test quick movements while maintaining balance. This is important in dribbling the ball and contesting the ball from another opponent. The T-test tests agility, again something that is important for dribbling and contesting the ball. The 5-10-5 shuttle test is also used in Major League Soccer and tests change of direction, which occurs frequently in soccer when the ball is kicked from one side of the field to the other over and over again. The 1 rep max back squat is used to test lower body strength. This is important in soccer to help with the power needed to kick the ball. The 1.5 mile run test tests VO2 max. This is important when considering the long distances and times the player can be running across. Here are Megan's baseline test results. For the BESS test, she scored a 9. The BESS test is performed as the following. We instructed Megan to perform the following tests barefoot, hands on hips, eyes closed for 20 seconds each. She did a double leg stance, a single leg stance, and a tandem stance, which is one foot in front of the other with a dominant foot in the back, both on a foam pad and on a firm surface for all of these stances. Each of the 20-second trials is scored on a scale of 1 to 10 by counting the number of errors or deviations from the proper stance accumulated by Megan. Each error equals 1 point, and a higher score indicates poor performance. For the vertical jump, Megan scored 19 inches. The vertical jump test is tested as the following. Megan stood on the side to a wall and reached up with the hand closest to the wall. Keeping the feet flat on the ground, the point of the fingertips is marked and recorded. This is called the standing reach height. The athlete then stands away from the wall and leaps vertically as high as possible, using both arms and legs to assist in projecting the body upwards. The jumping technique can or cannot use a counter movement. Attempt to touch the wall at the highest point of the jump, and the difference in the distance between the standing reach height and the jump height is the score. The hexagon test starts with both feet together in the middle of the hexagon facing the front line. On the command go, the person jumps ahead across the line and then back over the same line to the middle of the hexagon. Then, continuing to face forward with feet together, jump over the next side and back into the hexagon. Continuing this pattern for 3 full rotations. Megan's score was 14.5 seconds. The T-test starts at cone A, and on command of the timer, the subject sprints forward to cone B and touches the base of the cone with their right hand. They then turn left and shuffle sideways to cone C, and also touches base, this time with their left hand. Then shuffling sideways to the right to cone D and touching the base with the right hand. They then shuffle back to cone B, touching with the left hand, and run backwards to cone A. The stopwatch is stopped as they pass cone A. Megan scored 11.1 seconds. In the 5-10-5 shuttle test, the participant readies themselves in a 3-point position on the start line with feet shoulder width apart and placed equally either side of the line. The hand in contact with the floor during the 3-point position determines which direction the athlete should travel. For example, if the participant is going right, then they must start with their right hand on the start line. The athlete should also be instructed that once they reach the turnaround line, they must touch the line with their lead foot and hand. The opposite hand, inside hand, must not touch the floor during the change of direction. Participants should be counted down 3, 2, 1, go. Each participant must complete a minimum of 3 efforts in each direction, and each effort must be separated by a 2 to 3 minute rest if reliable results are desired. Megan scored 4.98 seconds. Megan's 1 rep max back squat was 76 kilograms. This is the max amount that she is able to back squat at one time. Megan also ran the 1.5 mile run in 14 minutes and 44 seconds, giving her a VO2 max of 36.28 milliliters per kilogram per minute. Based on Megan's scores, her personal goals for her annual plan is to be able to improve her ability to run for longer periods of time by increasing her VO2 max. She also wants to become a starter player for UCLA and believes that to do this, she should increase her vertical jump and balance ability. Here is the layout of Megan's macro cycle. It spans the course of an entire year and contains 4 mesocycles: in-season, post-season, off-season, and preseason. We are beginning to work with Megan in her in-season mesocycle. We have just tested her at the beginning of in-season to see where she is, and we'll retest her in her next in-season mesocycle to see how she has progressed. We will go into greater detail about her mesocycles in the following slides.
For our athlete, her microcycle will begin with her in-season and end at the beginning of her next in-season. Beginning with her in-season, this will take place the months of August through December. The in-season mesocycle will last 20 weeks with 5 2-week microcycles. There will be 1 week of exercises with 1 week of unloading. All microcycles has the same intensity and volume. This is due to the purpose of the mesocycle, which targets the maintenance of the athlete. This is our athlete's first time working with us on our design workout plan, so we do not expect her to peak at the beginning of her design program. This also explains why we have her reps and sets at values that are in the category of maintenance. We are only trying to maintain the athlete's skill level, not gain. This is also to prevent the overtraining of the athlete, being that she has been training up to this point. The athlete exercises are in order from multi-joint exercises that are targeting larger muscle groups to single joint exercises. These exercises include leg press, body weight squats, linear hop, lateral hop, abdomen crunches, and Russian pivots. Most of our exercises for her are geared toward the lower body, specifically her legs. This is because the athlete's goal is to improve her vertical jump. And being that soccer players mostly use their legs for the duration of the sport. In season, we also have the athlete doing core exercises. This targets the athlete's goal and increase her balance. With a tighter core, her stability will improve and result improving her balance. 2 of her exercises are sport specific. These 2 exercises are the linear and lateral hop. These exercises mainly targets balance but also agility. She will perform this exercise routine twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she will rest the other days, avoiding the act of overtraining and allowing her muscle to rebuild while she is in her competitive phase of the exercise program.
To calculate the volume load for each microcycle, we multiplied the sets by the reps by the weight that was used. Our volume loads will not include body weight. For the in-season microcycles, there will be a volume load of 570 kilograms for each exercise routine. Since she is doing this 2 times a week, her weekly volume load would be 1,140 kilograms, and her mesocycle volume load would be 4,560 kilograms. Her complete in-season volume load would be 22,800 kilograms.
The month of January will be the duration of her postseason. The athlete will experience recreational activities, some which may not necessarily be geared towards her goals, but will benefit her in the sport of soccer. The athlete will be given an option of swimming, which helps with aerobic endurance, CrossFit, a form of resistance training and aerobic endurance, yoga, which improves strength and balance, and biking. Megan will get 1 week, which acts as her transitional week from postseason into off-season, where her intensity and volume of her exercises will increase. Off-season will take place in the months of February through May. This mesocycle consists of 14 weeks with 4 2-week microcycles. These microcycles will be geared towards strength and conditioning of the athlete, with more reps and sets in each exercise. Again, the exercises are in order from multi-joint to single-joint exercises. These exercises include burpees, box jumps, dips, elliptical, running, and planks. In the transition of the first microcycle to the second microcycle, there is an increase of the amount of reps or duration of their exercises, because we are focusing on the aerobic endurance of the athlete. Mesocycle 2 and 3 are the same in intensity, and for the last mesocycle, we dropped off her intensity levels for the transition into the preseason, which is the hardest phase, and also to prevent overtraining, as we want the athlete to continue to progress and peak. Most of these exercises targets the full body, which allows for a change in exercises so that the athlete does not plateau in the repeating of exercises from previous mesocycles. In this mesocycle, we have included running for Megan. This is to enhance her sprinting and aerobic endurance. We do not have her running for an extended period of time since her sport is majority running. The last phase of our design program for Megan is preseason, which will occur in the months of June and July. This mesocycle is 8 weeks with two weeks microcycles. The targets of this mesocycle is balance and lower body strength. For this mesocycle, Megan will reach her highest intensity with the maximum amount of percentage of her 1 rep max. For the first microcycle, we are mainly focusing on balance but also lower body strength with the exercises cable push-ups, Bosie ball dumbbell squats, single leg squats, dumbbell squats, wall push-ups, and single leg deadlift row with kettlebell. In the second microcycle, we are focusing entirely on strength with the majority lower body, with the exercises deadlift, bench press, lunge with dumbbell, leg press, and leg curl. Since Megan is a seasoned or experienced athlete, we have implemented power exercises into her routine involving weights. Megan will perform these exercises 3 times a week with 2 days of rest. Since she is so close to in season, we want her to peak. In result, we have increased the frequency of her workout sessions. We did not max out the number of reps or sets for Megan because she is playing on the college level and she is a female. We want to lower her risk of injury and overtraining.
Megan's preseason microcycles have different volume loads. Mesocycle 11 has a volume load of 2,599.2 kilograms per day, and at 2 times a week, that is a weekly volume load of 5,198.4 kilograms. This mesocycle total would be 20,793.6 kilograms. Mesocycle 12 has a volume load of 4,324.4 kilograms per day, which is 8,648.8 kilograms per week. This mesocycle would be 34,595.2 kilograms. This gives her a volume load of 55,388.8 kilograms over the entire preseason. When we retested Megan at the beginning of her next in-season mesocycle, we were pleased with the results. She improved in all areas and met her personal goals. Her vertical jump and balance tests are improved as well as her VO2 max, which exceeded her 15% increase goal. Good job, Megan. Bria and I are so proud of you and cannot wait to see you start on the UCLA women's soccer team this season. Go Bruins!